Alright, how's it going, guys? Finally got a new video in. Apologies it took so long. Had a few things come up, but you know, that's alright. We just gotta get back into it. So, starting off, we're with the Sunshine Cup still. Decided to try out a pretty similar team to what I was doing last time. Big fan of Araquanid here. And so, got ourselves a pretty neutral matchup here, but Toxapex, being as bulky as he is, handles it pretty well. But then they swap into Charge Bug. And this is where it gets a little bit rough, but they do let the Sludge Wave go through, so that means that I can flip switch if I want to, and I absolutely will. There is no reason not to do this. You don't have to shield twice. It's a switch advantage for free, and with the backline I have, it's very worth it. Unfortunately, I don't have Stone Edge on my Quagsire, so this is going to be a bit tough with Araquanid and Quagsire. So we're just gonna have to try and chip this guy away. He probably thought I had Stone Edge there, so he dropped a shield, which is great for us, but still not in the best position, because Quagsire's almost dead and they have Wall Rain. But the good news is, Araquanid has a really good matchup against this because it resists everything. I'm gonna try to get as much chip as I can, and then we're gonna come in and farm down with Araquanid. The only problem is, I believe the Mantine left with some energy, and I only have one shield left, so I don't have to shield any of this, because I'll be resisting it all. But it's gonna be a little bit closer than I'd like it to be. I'm just gonna get as much energy as we can, and then we're gonna have to see if we can make this work with Araquanid. Okay, so they're under half. We're just gonna go straight Bug Buzz. No need to worry about anything. What sucks is we did take a decent amount of damage from the Wall Rain. So we'll have to see how much damage this does. If it's gonna do enough, no, it's not quite gonna make it. We try to get the catch with Toxapex, and unfortunately we lose that first game. Not the best for the first match, but pretty close regardless. We might have been able to make that work if we had gotten the catch, but unfortunately, sometimes it's just not like that. On to the next opponent. We got ourselves... Well, it says the battle's starting, but it's not. This is a classic Battle League move right here. Yeah, I think I just had to restart there, which is okay. We'll just get back into it. Can you guys already guess what that drawing is? Got a sneaking suspicion if you play Battle League you might be able to. And they come in with Shadow Girafarig, which is interesting. I haven't seen much of this Pokemon in this cup, but you know, they decide they don't want to deal with this matchup, so they switch into Vigoroth, which is great because we have Toxapex, and yeah, Vigoroth just doesn't want to see this. The Body Slams, they are gonna add up, but it's not gonna be the worst. We can just let it all go. We're gonna outpace this thing at the end of the day, unless they decide to give up shields, which at that point we can just shield some stuff ourselves. I decide to go for an undercharge here, and we can just about, yeah, we get the farm down. So decent play. And then they're waiting out the switch timer. Are they gonna come back in? Okay, yeah, they are. They're gonna get the farm down with that, but not before we can get a Sludge Wave off. And yeah, there's no reason not to shield anything. Even if it was a Brine, I think it would have threatened a KO from Girafarig. A little bit of a weak guy. He doesn't have much HP. Look at these Bug Bites who are just tearing him apart. So we're just gonna go for the Bubble Beam straight away, and they let it go. So let's see what's in the back end. It's Greedent, which is great because we can get some debuffs on this guy, and he's not gonna be able to get them or get rid of them at all since he has no Pokemon to swap out into. So gonna get those off. I think I might. No, I just let it go. I could have gotten another debuff off, but Greedent's so spammy, you might not want to risk it. But we're just going to get some Aqua Tails in here, and he might have Trailblaze. So this could be tough, but I don't think we're at risk of getting knocked out from a Trailblaze. Even though it is quad, it's not that strong of a move. So we're just going to... Oh yeah, we're going to shield it up. For some reason I thought I was going to call it bait, but he did bait us. So now I think he's going to go for the Trailblaze. And yeah, surely enough, he gets it, but we still outpace, so GG's. Sometimes you don't have to call baits. I know a lot of people in the community say it's like, oh, don't bait, but it can change the tide of a match if you do bait. Like, it's certainly a safer play if you don't, you just go for the big moves, get that either guaranteed shield or damage, but if you can make the right call, it can put you in a really good spot. So, really great matchup here. Versus Talonflame. Don't know why they're staying in, but that means I've got a pretty good time with their backline and my Quagsire, so I'm going to keep him healthy. I figure this is probably the best play. We're going to keep putting on the pressure with this, so he's down both shields. He wants this Quagsire out of here. And I'm like, you know what? If you're going to do that, I'm going to do it too. I'm just going to keep going for these Aqua Tails. And just make sure I get a few mud shots in between these Incinerates, and we're good. And we get the catch onto Toxapex, which is, like, you couldn't ask for more. He's so bulky, even though it's neutral damage, it doesn't matter. And this guy, like, he just doesn't want to see water types, I think. He's not even taking the switch advantage here. So, we're going to see what he has, and I don't know why he didn't switch out here. Honestly, I think he could have kept that Talonflame alive if he really wanted to, but I guess he realized he didn't have much play with it, so he just figured get as much damage as you can. That's what I'm assuming. But anyways, Charger Bug's gonna be firing off attack. Its X-Scissor does a sizable amount of damage for being neutral, but Quagsire, with a decent amount of bulk, he's no Clodsire. And they come in with... I just completely lost my train of thought. We got our Swampert here. What's great about having a Araquanid in this cup, though, is he will wall the Mud Boys. Unless they have Stone Edge with Quagsire, like, you're pretty much good. So we're just gonna get a nice farm down here. So, and they just go ahead and, like, top left. I don't see why not. Sometimes if you're like that, you just don't waste anybody's time. It's respectable. But GG's, and let's see, Quagsire into Vigoroth. This is a pretty neutral matchup, nothing crazy. He is probably going to outpace with the body slams. I think they'll do just a little bit more damage, so we're going to go into our Toxapex. I'm running a triple water team, but what's good is Quagsire kind of counts as like an ABB team because he doesn't share many weaknesses with my backline. And they come in with Galarian Stunfisk, which, not great. Probably going to lose this matchup, but we can apply super effective damage with the brines. So he might have to start, or we can at least take shield advantage here, which I'm okay with. I think that should be good. We're just going to charge up, see how much this does. Okay, yeah, he takes the shield, or I take shield advantage. And I'm like, you know what, there's no way I'm winning this. Never mind. I forgot. Like, you know what? I'll take both of your shields. Let's see if he really wants switch advantage. And he does. So, you know, get ourselves that 1-0 shield advantage. Comes in with Mud Bomb. Not going to do a whole lot, but a decent amount of damage. It's respectable. But we're just going to knock him out with the Aqua Tail and we'll see what he has. Just hard swap into Araquanid, see what he has. And do I call this bait? Yeah, I do call the bait, and I get annihilated by a Rock Slide. Two of those will threaten, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta give it up. So he does thankfully go for another Rock Slide, and he comes in with Charge Bug. So we're not out of it yet, but this is not looking great. I'm just thinking, like, I need to lower his attack as much as I can before he gets anything off to give my Quagsire a chance. But yeah, he comes in with the X-Scissor, and there's not a whole lot we can do. He is debuffed, so I don't think this is going to KO. It'll come close. And yeah, I didn't have the chance to overfarm here, which, you know, it happens, but not even Aqua Tail would be able to take him out. I would have to have Stone Edge, which I am running. Some people call it like suboptimal, because it's Mud Bomb and Aqua Tail, but I think the coverage is worth it, especially in a meta where Toxapex is as prevalent as it is. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. GG's. And they come in with Fortress. Now, I haven't seen this like my whole time in this meta. I'm still in the early ranks. Apologies, guys. I am going to try to have a bit more of a consistent upload schedule, but at the moment, just had some things come up. Trying to get in the swing of uploading constantly. Not giving up on my challenge at all. That Master Ball is still at forfeit if I don't hit Legend, so I'm going to pick up the pace. But right now, we haven't even made it out of the 1 through 20 ranks, so we're still getting there. But, anyways, had that bulky matchup. I decided to bring in Toxapex early, and they're deciding to throw a move. I'm like, sure, we're bulky, doesn't matter. We don't get the debuff on the Mirror Shot, which is great, but they come in with Lantern. And it's good that we're seeing it here, because my team struggled against Lantern. And they shield up the Sludge Wave, because that would threaten switch advantage if they let it go. But they decide to bait me with the Surf, and I knew I was losing this matchup either way. So, like, if you're in this position, like, keep your lead as much as you can. You're already in a really strong position, just throw the Thunderbolt. You're being very greedy going for a bait right there. So we call the bait, and we get switch advantage because of it. So I'm sure they're probably a little bit upset here. And it's going to come to show that like switch advantage meant a lot here, because they had a grass type in the back, which would have been perfect for their matchup with Quagsire. But I've got my Araquanid here, and we're looking like to be in a pretty good spot, and yeah, they surrender. So, what we learned there, you just make sure that if you have a solid lead, you keep that advantage. It might be like tempting to think that I would try and take switch advantage, but especially just in the way that I'm thinking about this, like if I know I'm gonna lose a matchup, I'm not wasting any more resources than I have to, because if I end up shielding, I could potentially be going down shield and switch advantage, and that's something that like you might as well just quit at that point. So GG's to that guy. We're all learning out here, that's what's great. And they're staying into a pretty rough matchup, and I throw in horrible timing here. I could have gotten at least like one more mud shot in, but they decide to swap out. We go for the Mud Bomb. I think they were trying to catch an Aqua Tail here, but thankfully a little bit of patience on my part, and I'm like, okay, let's catch the Hydro Cannon on Toxapex. We are looking to be in a great position, because even if he has Crunch, it's not going to do the most damage. Hopefully he's just running Ice Beam, but let's see right here. Okay, he's just trying to get Chip with Hydro Cannon. He probably thought I might try and throw. But, you know, we take shield and switch advantage. We're looking to be in a pretty good spot, and we can threaten the last shield with Sludge Wave, and they let it go. So, thanks to Poison Jab damage in that move, like, this Pidgeot is almost out of the game. So we're looking to be pretty good here. So we get the last shield with the Brine, and there's not much more they can do here. I decided to call the bait, because they want to get rid of my shields. I get the correct call here. And even though we don't have Stone Edge, Aqua Tail is going to do enough despite the debuff, and they come back and win. Skeledirge, they see Araquanid, GG's. Alright, moving into the next one. This one's a little bit less of a common Pokemon, especially if you play Go. I don't know if you recognize it yet, that I'm drawing right there, but let me know if you do early. I know it's kind of... I don't know how you could like convey that in the comments. If you recognize it early, because you can always just fast forward, but hey, I respect the honesty if you decide to do it the fair way. We're going for the Gunk Shot here, and yeah, this matchup, it's gonna be a while. I should have probably sped this up even more, because man, these things, like, it's just a waiting game. But we're just gonna keep firing off these Sludge Waves. Eventually something will happen, I guarantee it. But Switch Clock is coming back up, and I think I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm gonna get knocked out here for sure. Unless they decide to bait, no they don't. And we can come back in and get a nice farm down, or no. I wonder if I should have farmed down there. But I guess the Brine Threaten would be enough to bring my Quagsire close to kill percent. But just decided to hard swap in with Araquanid, hoping that I had taken out their hardest counter, and it looks like I might have. But what sucks is this isn't really the worst matchup for Greedent. He is going to be getting so many Body Slams off. The Mudshot Body Slam combination is insane. It's absolutely crazy. And it looks like he wants to clear the debuff, so he might be throwing, yeah, Octazooka, because I decided to call the bait here just in case, which pays off. Outrage definitely would have KO'd. I decided to... I don't call the bait there, so I think you got the debuff on that, so it's not great. But we get the Bug Buzz off, and we can come back in, and yeah, I want to clear the debuffs on him. And we're just going to try and get as much chip as we can on this. I call the Trailblaze bait, which is great, so this puts us in a better spot. They decide to, yeah, they're just throwing Body Slams at this point. Both would threaten to kill, or just kill outright. So we're just chipping away with Aqua Tail. One more will do it. But can we make it in time? He's coming in with another Body Slam. It's gonna take us out, but we do have Araquanid, and, you know, he has a shield. We tried to farm down. We did our best. Sometimes it's like that. But, alright, so we won one for this set. Let's see who we got next. Coming in. Alright, if you're in the comments, let me know how your Father's Day went. I know I had a pretty good time with my family, but oh, here we go. Horrible lead for them. They switch to Trampa. which, mad respect for running Dragon safe swap with a Dragon lead. That's wild. But, you know, we have a pretty safe play with our Toxapex here. The poison jabs add up so much, especially if the Pokemon doesn't have much bulk. Drampa actually has a decent moveset, and if they let this go, or if they shield this, they can flip switch. But no, they just want to save their shields because they're already down one shield, and they forfeit. Yeah, that's the problem if you're not running a hyper meta team. Sometimes you can just get hard walled and there's really no answer, but kudos to them for running Drampa. And, like, even Turtonator. That's wild. But here we have the mirror match. And let's have to see what they're running. I decided to throw immediately, see if I can get some chip damage, because honestly my backline doesn't really want to see this guy, especially if he's running Stone Edge, which most Quagsires do. So it looks like it's going to be Aquatail Stone Edge, but what's good is if he is running Stone Edge, then my Marini or Toxapex has decent play, but he lets it go. The thing's almost dead, so it's not going to be too much of a threat. They decided to swap into Vigoroth, and I'm like, okay, got a good matchup, so we're going to come in with Toxapex and just get a farm down. He's already chipped, so we should be able to farm down safely. The body slams will add up, but it won't be fast enough. So now it's just a tapping game. Oh, actually, I feel like I could have farmed down there. Apologies, it's been a few days since I recorded this. I don't remember it exactly, but I might not have been able to get the full farm down, actually. Looking back at it, I made the right play. Past me's doing alright. And yeah, I do have the shield, so I definitely wouldn't be able to farm down. He gets another one. Vigoroth is just so good for this meta, guys. I'm genuinely surprised that he was not nerfed in the most recent patch, but I mean, sure. They, like, the excuse is Worlds is coming up, so I mean, like, I totally get it. And they had like a huge tournament the week of, so they didn't want to change up the meta too much. Oh, but I'm not a big fan of Body Slam. It's such a oppressive move, and yeah, so my opponent forfeits with that bad matchup, and we take that. Not bad at all. Alright, so let's see. Who we got next? Steve! My nemesis in Smash Bros. Alright, so neutral matchup in the favor of Vigoroth. So we're just gonna try. I feel like it's a chip and dip situation. Let's see what I do. Do I swap into... Yeah, I do swap into Toxapex. That sounds about right. And they're gonna throw a Body Slam and probably swap into whatever, and they come in with Charjabug. So I'm really glad that I kept my Quagsire healthy for this, because I'm going to need it. Yeah, I think, I go for the Sludge Wave. We'll see if they let this go. We can maybe at least get a shield advantage, which no, they let it go. So this is really good. Unless they're running double electric, my Araquanid might have some play because they've gotten rid of one of the hardest counters for it. So we're just going to try and take him out real quick with the Quagsire, keeping some health, got to throw immediately, and then we come in with Araquanid, thinking that might be the hardest counter. And, okay, he decides to throw. I decided to respect the Rock Slide, because honestly I don't think I was keeping count that well. And they come in with Toxapex. And just like the Toxapex matchup, the Toxapex Araquanid matchup is just as bad. Look at how much damage that did. That's a Bug Buzz. That's supposed to be a nuke move. That did like a Body Slam's worth. It is resisted, but yeah, this is gonna be one of those matchups. So I decided to bait with a Bubble Beam. It's not much of a bait, but I do think I want to get his attack lowered just in case. And yeah, throwing off probably the Sludge Wave. Yeah, it's not going to do a whole lot of damage, but enough to threaten the next move to KO. So we decided to go with the Mud Bomb here. Charging up, and that's almost going to KO, but they come back in with Vigoroth, and unfortunately these counters are just doing a bit too much. Yeah, so they had 2 shields, they're farming me down, and they have energy ready for Araquanid. I do have a shield, but at this point I know what's up. That's not going to work out, but GG's, they played well. It's good to see, like, even in the early ranks, guys, I'm only around like 14 here, but there's still really good players out here. That's still crazy to me, because I am behind on my climb right now. I'm not going as hard as I could. I'm going to try to pick up the pace later, but at the moment, yeah, we're only at 13, 14. But that's it for this time. I appreciate it, guys. I hope you have a good one. Subskibby. And I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys have a good one. Take it easy.